Proposed Northern Lights Express rail project connecting Duluth and the Twin Cities now has the state funding it needs to become a reality. According to MnDOT, with 750,000 people estimated to ride the train in its first year, what does the city need to do to make this project successful? Roger, we begin with you.
Good. Well, I mean, kudos on everyone who's worked for years on the Northern Lights Express. I was an advocate and supporter when I was on the city council. I was actually the city's representative to the Joint Powers Board, was supportive when I was in the legislature as well. So it's exciting to see it finally moving forward. And I know not everybody watching is a fan or is supportive. What I would argue to those who aren't is every transportation connection matters. So when we have freeway, when we have port, when we have the airport, and now when we have passenger rail, that is good for our community and it's good for our region. Kudos Commissioner Keith Nelson, who's been a big advocate of this to also help connect veterans like myself to the Twin Cities, to the VA hospital, to those appointments that we need to go to that right now we drive, and then of course the folks that are going to come up here and visit. So it'll be great to see the redo that we do with the historic depot, as well as adjacent development that might take place with that being a new destination of a major transportation hub.
Thank you, Roger. Mayor Larson, what does the city need to do to make that Northern Lights Express rail project successful?
Well, first of all, we get to do a lot. We have put in a tremendous amount of work to get to this point. I have been appointing people to the NLX board my entire tenure of mayor to help make sure that the city's interests are represented. I have been directly allocating funding into the lobbying to get it over the finish line. And I also want to thank the partnerships we have. Again, Senator Klobuchar was a big champion with us and for us, as was Governor Walz, who has also supported me and endorsed me in this race, and who stands with you and who helps you get these big projects done with your community. Really, really matters. What we get to do moving forward is to be intentional about the planning. What is the experience going to be like once people get off that train? We have a group forming right now to talk just about that. Parking, Uber, Lyft, connectivity. How are people actually going to walk over that MnDOT bridge? It doesn't work very well. We have the relationships going with MnDOT to be having those conversations. And also looking at development opportunities like the Ordine building, a perfect example of how to leverage that investment.
Mayor Larson, thank you. Roger, you have 30 minutes, or 30 seconds rather, sorry, for a rebuttal.
Thanks, and not really a rebuttal. I just know that there are folks watching who are not supporters of the project, who are questioning the expense, who are questioning the time. And to all of you, I would say the expense is an offset of what we're otherwise going to be doing in private automobiles. And having driven back and forth to the Capitol hundreds of times over several years, it's about all the things you shouldn't be doing in a car that you're doing now. Eat, read, sleep, that you can do on a passenger rail train without endangering yourself or others.
Roger, thank you. Our next